At Comedy Central, where I have worked for the past 10 years, we have an intern lunch during which our group of hardworking, sweet, so clueless I have become embarrassed that I was ever that young, interns can ask us executives for advice. The questions are usually the same. Question: how do you deal with being a woman in Hollywood? Answer: do you have 10 hours to talk and not in this room full of my dude colleagues? Question: how do you make a good TV show? Answer: no idea. All I do is find the most talented people I can, say a prayer, and get out of the way. Anyone who tells you differently or that they have some secret sauce is probably an egomaniac. Question: how did you get your first big break? Answer: I was at my own intern lunch at The Daily Show with Jon Stewart when a fellow intern asked that very same question. I had never worked in television before, and I was in awe of the rigor of that show. Jon, I do not know Jon Stewart as John. That would be insane. Was there every day, the entire day, overseeing everything. And the people around him were just so smart. They were the adults you wanted to be, single-minded in their dedication to their work, rushing about in a manner that screamed importance, and totally uninterested in us, the lowly interns. When we finally had our official time to sit with Jon, another intern asked what his first big break was. Jon, very quickly, very firmly responded, there are no big breaks. There are only a series of tiny little breaks. The key is to work your hardest and do your best at every little break. Jon Stewart is/was/will forever be my hero. And so I took his words, swallowed them, and tried to make them part of me. That entire semester at The Daily Show, I made it my mission to be the best at the worst of jobs, with the hope that I might find my own little break. When I noticed that a correspondent wanted oatmeal every day, but by the time he got into the office it had all been eaten, probably by we, the servile, free food greedy interns, I gained at least 15 pounds in bagel weight during that internship. I saved him packets and put them on his desk with a bowl and a spoon. When I saw that the permanent staff was genuinely annoyed by the interns who constantly did bits trying to out-funny one another in a misguided attempt to get discovered, I decided to be quiet and polite. My greatest contribution, however, was cleaning the capsule coffee machine. Every afternoon, after rehearsal, Jon would make himself an iced coffee in a little kitchen nook outside the studio door. I noticed that the machine was often dirty, out of water, or even worse, broken. And I imagined how annoyed that must make Jon. Here he was trying to get one of the funniest, most important shows on the air, and he couldn't even get a mediocre capsule coffee? Not on my watch. I saw my first little break. I treated that machine like a precious object, cleaning it, refilling it, pulling it apart, putting it back together, making sure it was perfect. I read online how to fix the machine, and I practiced at home by buying a similar model. I spent a good part of my day making sure that thing was in order, so there would never be a time when Jon couldn't have a little coffee. It didn't occur to me then that I was being pretty intense, bordering on psychotic, about the machine. Instead, I saw this as my way to make a contribution to a show I loved. If I wasn't going to be a writer on the show, if I was just a lowly intern, at least I could be the lowly intern who could be called upon at any point to fix the single most important item in any creative environment, the coffee machine. I don't know if it was cleaning the coffee machine or my polite quietness that impressed the producers, but at the end of the semester, they helped me get an entry-level job at Comedy Central. The rest of my career sprung directly from that decision to be the best at something that seemed like the worst.